Namaga students, this is Mrs. Sri Vidya from Pon Vidyashram. Let's have the recap of yesterday's session. So, we read about fibers and also we read about the importance of clothes, and according to the seasons, we wear different types of clothes. Where these clothes are obtained from? It is obtained from fibers. There are two types of fibers: natural fibers and man-made fibers. Artificial fibers are also called as a man-made fibers. Natural fibers are those which is obtained from plants and animals. In class 6, we read about plant fibers in detail, like cotton, jute, coir, hemp, etc. And how these fibers are converted into fabric also we read in class 6. Ginning, spinning, weaving, knitting. So, in class 7, we are going to focus on animal fibers, that is wool and silk, which we saw in the previous. So, animal fibers are wool and silk. The wool is obtained from sheep. We know only wool is obtained from sheep, but the wool is also obtained from goat, camel, yak, rabbit, etc. We can see about this wool. Wool, common name applied to the soft, curly fibers obtained chiefly from the fleece of domesticated sheep. Fleece means the hair of sheep, and used extensively in textile manufacturing. Wool may be differentiated from hair mainly by the nature of the scales that cover the outer surface of each fiber. Wool is an animal fiber. It is present as a thick coat of hair on the body of certain animals to keep them warm. Air gets trapped in the spaces between the hair and does not allow the body heat to escape. We read it in our lower classes. That is why we wear woolen clothes in winter. So, wool yielding animals. We had seen in the previous sessions like yak, llama. It is a camel family. It is found in South America. The wool is lightweight, grease-free, luxurious and soft. It has a fine undercoat and coarser outer guard hair. It provides protection from heat. It is used to make handicrafts, garments, wall hangings and ropes. It comes in different colors ranging from white or grey to reddish brown, dark brown and black. Yesterday we read about how this wool is converted into the fabric. Yesterday we saw about the various steps that is involved in the wool production: shearing, scoring, grading or sorting, dyeing, drying and the making of yarn. So when we talk about camel, it's a significant supplier countries of camel hair are China, Australia, Russia. The outer protective fur is coarse and inflexible, and its undercoat is very soft, gathered when camels molt. What are the uses from the camel's fur? Used to make tents, carpets, clothes. What is the properties of this camel hair? High thermostatic property, provide insulation and also protection from heat. Camel hair is obtained from the very soft and fine fur of the undercoat of the camel. The Bactrian camel gives the best quality camel wool. The alpaca and llama also belong to the camel family, which we discussed in the previous sessions. They are found in South America. So, next we shall see about the Kashmiri goat. We saw in the previous sessions about the Angora goat. The fur of Angora goat provides a type of fiber called mohair. About Kashmiri goat, it is also known as Kashmiri goat, all found in Kashmir, China. It is fine in texture, strong, light and soft. Produce double fleece that consist of a fine, soft undercoat and coarser outer coating of hair called guard hair. The long coarse guard hair is used for brushes and other non-apparel uses. Pure Kashmiri can be dyed and spun into yarn and knitted into sweaters, hats, gloves, coats, jackets, etc. The fiber is also known as pashmina for its use in the handmade shawls. Now, let us see about alpaca. Alpaca is found in South America. It is soft, durable, luxurious and silky natural fiber. It's warmer, not prickly, water repellent, elastic. Alpaca fiber is used for many purposes including making clothing such as bedding, hats, gloves, sweaters. It has a guard hair and soft hair. The meaning of undercoat, a covering of short hair found below the longer outer hair on an animal's body. Now let us study about this mohair, that is which we obtain from Angora goat. Mohair is very similar to wool in chemical composition but has a much smoother surface. It is durable, light and warm and is especially preferred for making soft sweaters and soft coverings for furnitures. Yak, found in Ladakh, Tibet, Nepal and Sikkim in India and also in other parts of the world. The coat of the yak is composed of 3 different types of fiber, that is coarse, the mid type and the down fiber. The properties of yak wool are warmth, softness, breathability, odor resistance. Its wool is used for preparing robes, tents, bags, sweaters, etc. Then when we want to talk about the yak, we have seen in the previous sessions that yak also gives us a very good quality of wool. Now let us see about the wool production. Like yesterday I said shearing, the removal of fleece from an animal is called shearing. We discussed about this flow chart in yesterday's session. Let's have a quick recap of this flow chart. First, shearing. Sheep are sheared to remove the fleece. Second step is sorting. Fleece is washed to remove dirt. The next, fleece is dyed into different colors. Then, fleece is baled for transport to different places. Now, let us see about yarn types and its uses. There are 2 types of yarn. Long yarn, shorter yarn. That is, yarn means a thread. The long yarn threads are usually knitted to make sweaters, mufflers, caps and socks. The shorter yarn threads are woven into fabrics. So, fiber, yarn and then fabric, cloth. This is the order which we read in the last year. We read about ginning, spinning. We use some machines to do spinning. Then weaving. The next knitting. Then looms. There are 2 types of looms. One is a power loom. Another one is hand loom. Power loom are done by machines. Hand loom are done by hand. So let us discuss about the steps that is involved, the conversion of the wool into the fabric. First one is rearing. Sheep are reared mainly for their wool. They are mainly reared in areas with low rainfall. Shearing. Once a sheep develops a thick coat of hair, it is shaved for getting wool. The removal of wool from a sheep is called shearing. Shearing is done done by a manual razor and blade or with the special clippers. Just as a haircut does not hurt us, shearing does not hurt the sheep. Mostly, this shearing is done annually in summer months or in spring months. It is actually helps them by removing the heavy woolen coat that they do not require in summer. Shearing also done with the help of a machine called as shearer. And also we have a technique called as a bioclip. They inject a special hormone to remove the hair. Second one is scoring. You want to sheared hair is washed properly to remove dirt, dust and grease. This process is called scoring. The third one is grading or sorting. The wool is sorted on the basis of length, color, texture and the ease with which it can be dyed. Next is dyeing. As the natural color of fleece is white, brown or black, the sheared wool is dyed in different colors. Then last step is drying. Containers of wool are put through rollers to squeeze out as much water as possible. Then the wool is weighed and packed into bales. The bales are transported to the mills where they are processed further. So the next is making yarn. Next the wool is straightened, combed and spun into yarn. After spinning, then looming, then shearing. Shearing is the first step in processing fiber into wool. Let's recollect the steps once again. It is a removal of fleece of the sheep along with a thin layer of the skin. It is very important that sheep are reared in warm weather, usually spring. They don't need their warm coat to keep them warm. They are reared by a hand shearer or by a mechanical shearer. 1994, Australian scientists invented a way of removing wool from sheep without shearing. They inject the sheep with the special hormone, then wrap them in tight hair nets. 3 weeks later, the fleece can be peeled off. This technology is called bioclip. Then let's see, all these terms are very important. We need to keep it in our mind. Shearing, scoring, grading or sorting, dyeing, drying and making of yarn are the different stages involved in wool production. Scoring is a process of removing dust particles and dirt from the reared sheep wool. Scoring is done in big tanks made separately for scoring in order to remove dirt, dust and grease. It is done with the help of the machines also. The process of removing dirt, dust and grease from the sheared hair is called scoring. Once the scoring is done, we will do the grading. The wool is sorted on the basis of length, color, texture and the ease in which it can be dyed in different colors. The various steps which is involved in the wool protection are so important in this chapter that makes the entire chapter to be covered. So this is the basic steps that they are undergoing in order to get wool. And the next step is dyeing. That is sorting, which I said you before. Some part of the sheep coat have better hair than the other. This good quality wool from the snug and shoulder of the sheep is used for clothing, while the more imperial quality comes from the lower leg and is used to make rugs. The fleece is sorted according to its texture and tail. Apart from this, the people who work in the wool industry have their own health hazards. In earlier days, the workers who sorted wool were often infected by bacteria that causes a serious disease or a fatal disease called anthrax, also known as sorter's disease. The bacteria are found in the wool of contaminated sheep and can enter the human body through inhaled air. Nowadays, this disease occurs rarely because of the use of vaccines for prevention. The people who work with these industries need to be vaccinated. Cleaning of burrs. After sorting, the hair is cleaned off of any burrs that still remain. Burrs are small, fluffy fibers that appear on a sweater. The fibers are scarred and bright again. This wool is now ready to drawn in fiber. Okay, and let us see about what do you mean by the clothing, the importance of wearing clothes. Clothing material or fabrics are woven from fibers. Once again, I'll say you. Clothing materials or fabrics are woven from fibers, that is a thin strand of thread. And in the next session, we will be studying about the silk, wool production and the silk production. We are going to focus in this chapter. Next step is dyeing. The fibers are mostly in white, black and brown in color, so they are afterwards dyed into any color of our choice. As the natural color of the fleece is white, brown or black, the shirred wool is dyed in different colors. So this dyeing process is so important in order to get the people get attracted towards the color. Clothing material or fabric is woven from yarns. Different types of fabrics are used for making dresses, curtains, sofa covers, carpets, etc. Then for that the basic thing is fibers. So while you read those chapters and when you view the videos, it is very important to look out the e-books, that is the Ratna Sagar Ring and also the NCRT for the better understanding how we convert the wool into yarn. Once the dyeing process is finished, the fibers are straightened, combed and rolled into yarn, longer fiber and are turned into sweater and shorter into wool cloths. So these are the basic steps for the wool production. That is, once again I'll recollect: shearing, scoring, grading or sorting, dyeing, last one is drying, making of yarn. So these are the basic steps that is involved in the wool production. Shearing, we know, removal of fleece, and the second step is scoring to remove grease, that is dirt and all. Third one is grading or sorting, and dyeing and drying. So these are the following activities which is given to you as an assignment so that you can do it. Thank you children. So hope you would have understood this session. Let's see in the next session about the silk, silkworm, sericulture, life cycle of silkworm in detail. Thank you children.